I appreciate you guys tuning in, man. It's Jon Agnew from Bikedope Conversations. Let's hop right into it. I was in Brooklyn, New York, right? A minute ago. And I sat down with a lady by the name of Lissette, right? And I found Lissette because I was on Instagram, and I don't know how Energy Universe kind of heard it. So I ended up finding her, looking over her page, her profile, reaching out to her, talking to her, stuff like that. But she has like some really interesting things going on. One thing is that she's a vegan, but she's Puerto Rican. So that means she's a Puerto Rican vegan. That's a hard body in itself, right? Because you got to listen to this shit. It's crazy. Second thing is, she lost her son to gun violence. Now, I know I'm a parent, and I couldn't imagine like how life goes after that, like post that. You know what I mean? The second thing is, she does sign language, for God's sake. She does sign language. Like, it's like, and the more I got to listen to her and understand and dig her way, it's like her whole life was kind of geared around helping people. Bikedope! That's what it is. I mean, what else needs to be said? Lissette, I love you, mama. Keep doing your thing, man. You're just excellently amazing, fantastic. Every superlative word that comes to being a beast, you encompass that, mama. Let me know what you guys think, man. Like, subscribe, share, follow, all that. But listen, dog. Listen. Just listen. Learn to listen. Let's stop time for a minute. Let's listen. Her story is crazy. Let me know what you think. Peace.
I'm ready.
Bikedope Conversations, man. On location again, where I meet the illest people on the planet, like I like to say. And this young lady here is no different. I got my homegirl with me. Liz, high five, mama. How are you?
I'm good.
Where we at right now?
Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn.
Bed-Stuy. How long you been here?
I've been back over here, I think 15 years now.
15 years. So let me tell you about the meal she just made, right? She just made like the most awesome, it was like some kind of pork ribs.
Yeah, right?
It was some kind of pork ribs, and then she had like a side like chicken and rice, and she's Puerto Rican, so we made like the arroz con pollo, everything, man. No, I'm just joking, man. She's a vegan.
Yeah.
And the reason there's a couple things that kind of stuck out to you, by you for me was that you're a Puerto Rican vegan. Like, where they make them at?
Who knew, right?
Yeah. How that work? How does that come to be?
Well, as a kid, my mom, when we were little, she didn't allow us to have like sweets, candy, none of that stuff.
Okay.
We didn't go to regular doctors. We wound up going to chiropractors. So I started very young. Then I work in the medical field.
Okay.
I'm a medical interpreter, sign language. That's my profession. That's what I do for a living.
You know how to do sign?
I do. That's what I do all day long, every day.
Damn!
Yeah. And so I started realizing that people are sick because of what they take in.
Yeah.
And I started my transition there. But what really took me there, where it was like, okay, full-fledged, my sister came to me one day and she told me I have cancer.
Okay.
And in 7 months she was gone.
Just like that?
Just like that. No time to prepare.
How old was your sister?
She was 41 when she passed.
And when did she pass? Like recently?
November 3rd, 2013.
Damn.
Yeah. In 7 months. And from that point forward, I was like, I know what it is. It's what we're taking in. And I got to change it. I got to change it for the next generation. Not just for me, for my kids. Like, everybody needs to know about this.
Yeah.
And so I started my quest. I bought a book that was called Cancer Uncensored.
Yeah.
And from that book, it just took me like down a rabbit hole. And I just started finding more and more information. But I started seeing signs long before it. I remember I was working in a hospital in the Bronx, and there was a group of interpreters. And usually at the end of the day, we would debrief and be like, oh, this is how this went, this
Right.
how this went. And as a group of interpreters, we sat down and we were like, yo, do you see what's happening with the kids? You know?
And you think that's solely because of the food?
Not just the foods, but it's a combination of what you're taking in and what you're injecting into your body.
Okay.
And so we started realizing that around 15 months, these kids were getting really sick. Like, the kid that would be like, hey, how are you? All of a sudden was like in the twilight zone.
Yeah.
And it kept happening over and over and over at that age. And we were like, something is happening.
Okay.
And so amongst ourselves, we were like, it's the vaccines.
Yeah.
You know? But we couldn't pinpoint it for sure. But we knew that it was happening around that time. And I needed to know, how do you detox your body from that?
Yeah.
How do you get that out of your system? Because by law, you're required to do it, you know, or you can't go to school. You can't. They kind of got you by the balls in every area.
Yeah.
You know, and when I started seeing that and started doing more research, I'm like, it is. It is. It's proven fact. You know,
It's scary.
it's scary. It is scary. You know, and as an interpreter, you're in the medical field with everybody. You know, I've seen mothers, now they're offering injections to pregnant mothers, and these babies are born stillbirth. You know, and I'm the person in the room with you pushing this baby out that's already passed. You know, so there was a lot of decisions.
Let me ask you this, so you're a sign language interpreter?
I am.
I'm confused. So, like, how do you, like, to people who are like deaf and mute and stuff like that?
Yes. The proper term is deaf.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm the middle person between the doctor and the patient. I contract with just about every hospital in New York City. I'm independent. The law now requires someone who speaks your language. And so I come in and I speak in first person for the patient. They're signing, and I'm speaking for them. And then when the doctor speaks, I'm signing back to them.
You don't need like any kind of power of attorney or anything like that? It might be a silly question, but...
No. Well, you have to be licensed to do it.
You said speaking first person, that's what made me just think that.
Right. So instead of saying she said, he said, I'll always say I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a rabbit hole for real. So tell me about this vegan lifestyle. Like, you haven't had a piece of chicken since when?
Oh, wow.
It's been a minute like that?
It's been a long time.
I had a piece of chicken this morning. Like.
Oh, God. I don't want to scare people, but if you just knew, like, chicken ain't chicken no more. It's just not. They're injected with so many things.
Yeah.
They don't live a free lifestyle. You know, trust me, I loved my share of chicken. But I know too much. And when you know, you can't unknow.
Right.
You know, and so to me, chicken is almost like a street rat. You know, they take on anything, they're injected with anything, and we don't know the condition that they lived before they got to your plate. You know, some of these chickens come from third world countries, and the government doesn't allow you know, they're not enforced to put labels on the stuff, so it's mystery meat. Yeah.
But I guess using that logic, isn't everything like, because we're in Bed-Stuy.
Yeah.
So there's no gardens and shit around here, is there? Like, where do you get your food from? Because if we're going to play that game, we got to be honest with everything across the board, right?
Right.
So if you get something from the frozen section at whatever store you might go to, doesn't that have the same kind of stigma as being mystery meat as the other stuff would too?
Well, I don't really buy frozen stuff. I like to buy live food. Don't get me wrong. There's days that I'm tired and I don't feel like cooking, and so I'll pick up a frozen something. But most of the time I eat live food.
Live food, explain.
Live food is something that's still living, like bananas, like berries, like fruits, vegetables.
Okay.
You don't have to cook them to ingest them. They're still living organisms.
Right.
Their cells are still alive. They're not withered and brown, so they're living.
How long was the school for the sign language? That's really cool to me.
Well,
Like,
I went to school for just interpreting alone for 2.5 years.
okay.
But I've always known sign language since a little girl. My sister's deaf. And so I learned being nosy. No one else in my family learned how to sign. She was 5 years younger than me.
Okay.
And she kind of was like the outsider in the family. And it bothered me, you
Yeah.
know. And I remember we grew up in the hood and kids, you know, they tease.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know, and I remember them saying, "Oh, the deaf girl, the deaf girl,"
Right.
and I didn't see her as that.
Yeah, you see
You know, she was my little sister.
Right.
You know, so I got into a lot of fights protecting her.
Right.
I remember being her voice very young. I didn't know sign language at all. She didn't know sign language either until she went to school.
You don't really find too many Puerto Rican, no disrespect, Puerto Rican women like this, like do the signs and the vegan.
It's true. It's true.
That is sweet as
Yeah.
hell.
Yeah,
Good
but
for
it's
you,
a struggle because, you know, you don't see too many women of color in this field.
No doubt.
No.
And how's the money?
Oh, the money is good. Everything is negotiable.
Okay.
So your experience, your training, and for me, it's medical. That's my field. That's what I love.
Mm.
And so I kind of stand my ground when it comes to medical. I'm very well known in the field, just for medical. Now I wouldn't walk into a court building and try to be an interpreter or
Why not?
the Board of Ed. The jargon is different. You know,
Jargon.
you have the right to remain silent. Oh, I'm deaf. I'm silent already. So, you know. And then with deaf people, you have to expand on certain things. And so you're not allowed to do that when it comes to the law. And I, for myself, ethically, I don't think it's for me. So I don't do it because I want you to clearly understand what's happening, not just throwing words at you. And so I stay out of those
Situation.
those fields. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's cool as hell. So as far as the vegan stuff, like, what is your, like, where do you start? Like, because I guess the world is in such a weird place, I like to say, as far as like food and stuff like that. Because it really is like would you do like the Impossible Burger from like Burger King, you know?
No.
Because why?
Because they cook meat there. And so I don't put my food in the same place that somebody will cook their meat.
Because you're not gonna do it because ethically, morally, it's just nasty. Or like, what is? I'm just kind of stuck in.
I don't trust that they would respect to put my stuff separately from anybody else. It's a burger place, you know.
I think that being a vegan is more like a spiritual thing. Is that true?
There's levels to it. When you first start to transition, you go through a lot of changes. It's almost like a detox, almost like a withdrawal from drugs.
Okay.
But once you're in your process, like my hair's extending.
Yeah.
It's a spiritual connection. You start to see things different. You start to hear things. It's like a oneness with yourself. You have peace with yourself. You know. So I'll say yes when it comes to a spiritual connection. Yes.
That's cool.
You don't have anything in your body that's dead. So everything that you take in is alive. You're vibrant. Your thoughts are different. Your calmness, like it's you have to experience. I don't know if you ever fasted, but
I fasted before. I mean, but I don't. You're not supposed to feel like that oneness either way. You're supposed to. I mean, like, why does that have to come with being a vegan to experience that stillness within yourself? That's what I'm trying to understand. 'Cause I think that you're supposed to be conscious and you're supposed to be open and that kind of stuff anyway in your thoughts. So why would being a vegan? Why would that take you to the next level?
I think it's because, like I said, you're not ingesting dead things. So there's nothing that's clogging like your peanut, like your third eye.
Yeah.
You know, your system is completely detoxed from all the carcasses. I'll say it like this. It is what it is. It's carcasses. The fear of the animal before he died, right? You don't think he knows he's going into the slaughterhouse? He heard the last guys crying on their way in. So he has anxiety, he has fear, right? And now he either is getting shot in the head, right? Or he's getting his head cut off where he's gonna bleed out, or even stabbed. You think he doesn't know he's stabbed? Could you imagine the adrenaline that's going on in his body? And now he's a nice red juicy steak on your plate. So you ingested whatever his fears were into you. On top of that,
that's
how
only
many
gonna
other
work.
cows?
That's only gonna work if I believe it, though. So that's the.
You could believe it or not.
Yeah.
It's still reality. Whether you want to accept it or not, you're still taking in somebody else's blood. You know.
That's fair.
Yeah. That's
fair. So what does a Thanksgiving look like for you then?
Oh, we eat. Well, it's not meatloaf.
Okay.
But I have meatloaf. I have vegan steak. We eat. One day I'll invite you over for a dinner and you'll see. You won't be missing what you think you're missing. I think we're trained to eat this way from kids.
Right.
And so your body craves that. But once you take that out of your system, you will never want to eat flesh again. Just the point of biting into, when you know what it is, like when you know what's inside of it, when you know what all that happened before it got to your plate, you won't want it. Mentally, you won't.
Right. I can see it.
Even if your body craves it, you may try it, but you won't want it.
I'm pretty vast when it comes down to that kind of stuff. I think what scares me a lot of times is not scares me, just the convenience. You know what I'm saying? And then having a more, not more healthy, but a healthier lifestyle. It's that much more expensive too. You know what I mean? I believe they price that kind of stuff out to phase other people out who can kind of throw them off a little bit. You know what I mean? Am I saying that right?
Well, what's more expensive when you think about it like that? Your health, right? Because you're going to pay the doctor's bills. Like, they're going to continue to give you medicine. They're never going to get to the root of what's going on with you.
Okay.
They're going to say, it's almost like, for an example, you take your car to the mechanic, right? But as you're driving to the mechanic, it's going right?
Yeah.
And you get to the mechanic and he says, I got the solution. Turn the radio up. You'll never hear the shit again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He never got to what's causing the ring-a-lang.
Yeah.
He just got to the symptoms. But your car is telling you, hey, something's going on down here.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm just going to muffle you out with the music. You know, and so what's more expensive? The bill and the sickness and the effects that your family's going to watch you suffer, other than changing your lifestyle. And it's really not expensive. I can go into the supermarket with like $20 and leave there with meals for days, but I don't, because what I eat is live, and so it perishes fast.
What are you getting from the grocery store though? Like when you go to the grocery store, what do you get?
I
what are your staples? What's your staple?
I love plantains. I like green plantains, yellow plantains. I love mushrooms. I have an oyster mushroom that will make you never miss chicken again.
Okay.
Beans. I eat a lot of lentils. I eat nuts, greens. You name everything that you eat. As far as
everything you eat, I eat as a snack though. I don't know if I can get.
No. I make spaghetti. I make meatloaves, but not meat. I make all kinds of. I make empanadas.
What the fuck are you making the meatloaf? Like what's
I use lentils. I use lentils and I use mushrooms and I use onions and all of that stuff. I use walnuts.
That's crazy.
I'm telling you that you wouldn't know the difference. I'm telling you, my brother's big. He teases me all the time. He's like, you're gonna be 100 and you just won't die. but I'm not sick.
But it's good. It's crazy because we're like in Bed-Stuy right now.
Yeah.
And there's like, I guess like, there's so many different cuisines and so many different things to experience here in this part of the country.
Mm-hmm.
Like as opposed to being down south. You know what I mean? It's like soul food spots, and a lot of chain restaurants, shit like that. And I guess in more happy parts like Atlanta's different spots and stuff like that. But here, NYC, man, forget about it. There's Cubans, there's this, there's that, Vietnamese, and there's Chinese, and there's so much shit going on here. How do you like, how? Like,
I still go out and eat. I like to cook my own food.
yeah.
Just because you just never know people behind the kitchen if they did this before they,
Right
you know.
on. Yeah, man.
I've always been like that though.
Yeah.
I'm not big on eating out in restaurants, but I do.
So when you go to a Chinese spot, what do you get?
If I hardly ever go, I'll maybe get a string beans with some, what's that, black bean sauce.
Okay.
They have vegan options too. I don't really eat Chinese food.
Okay, that's my thing. If I go, I get the steamed vegetables.
Oh,
That's what I
okay.
do. So that's pretty fair, right?
Yeah, I like to cook my own food though. I don't really go, but they have a lot of vegan places out here.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like vegan pizza spots, like vegan soul food places.
Yeah, that's a spot in Charlotte I go to. And she made some kind of shrimp. Like it was shrimp and grits, but it wasn't shrimp. It was some kind of weird concoction. That I don't
How
know.
was it?
It was good. It was good. I'm open to that kind of stuff. Like I'm not really hell bent on being one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty vast, like I mentioned. So let me ask you this. So it's no secret. I like troll people on Instagram and shit, right? And just kind of just follow along and just make mental notes as I go. But there was some kind of, I don't know if it was a moth or something, or some kind of butterfly or something.
In here?
In here.
A dragonfly.
Dragonfly.
He was, I swear, he had to be at least 4 to 6 inches. He was this big.
So what did that dragonfly has some kind of significance, I think, right?
It did.
Okay.
It did. My son Jack Kim passed 2015. He was murdered. But every year, I swear to you, and only a few people know that, every year, the day before his anniversary, I get a humongous something in here. So that day, I was in the living room, and I kept hearing like almost like a paper bag, like ruffling, like a plastic bag ruffling. And I'm like, what the heck is that?
Right.
Jakim is still here. He's in his room. I wasn't ready to put him in the ground. That's my personal choice. I wasn't ready for that.
Pause right there. So Jack Kim is in his room.
He is.
At this, like in 2015, 13, what do you say?
2015.
2015, he's in his room, no mas.
Yeah, he's
In his room.
Yeah.
Okay. Continue on.
So every year, so like I said, I heard something like, I don't know, I couldn't figure out what it was, but when his anniversary approaches, I always try to keep myself busy mentally.
Yeah.
And so I started cleaning up, and I was just gutting stuff out, and I'm like, but what is that? I felt like it was coming in the kitchen, so I went to the kitchen, and I looked around, nothing. I'm like, all right, I went back in the room. And then the next morning I got up, and I started from the back of the house, and I cleaned up everything, and I got to the kitchen, and I walked in on that side of the kitchen, and when I looked, that thing was like this big, just bouncing off the walls, but he was beautiful. But I didn't know if I didn't know what dragonflies do. I didn't know if they bite or what.
Right.
So I went running, but I was here by myself, and I'm like, I don't want to kill you because I don't want to kill something that's, especially that big. I've never seen such a thing. So I got behind this curtain and I got a broomstick and I let him out. But funny thing, when I first heard the thing, I said, that's Jack Kim. I went in the room and I said, whatever you're doing is not funny. Right? That's me. Sometimes I still take him out and I put him in the bed with me when I'm really, really missing him. That's my thing. To some people, they might be spooked, but he's my son.
Yeah.
You know? And so.
How old was he when he got murdered?
15 years old.
Around here in Brooklyn?
No, he was in New Jersey. He went to visit his dad. Jakim was going through. Jakim was raised here. When he got about 13 years old, his father had always been in and out of his life. His father was going in and out of the system.
Okay.
He was raised here with his stepdad. When he got about 13 years old, he had this thing. His father came out, and his father would come in, see him, take him for the weekend, and come back. And his father had a thing with another man being the man who raised him.
Yeah.
That was his issue.
Understood.
You know. But he kind of manipulated things. So Jakim was going through a stage. Kids, 13 years old.
Understood.
I looked at it as we just going through teenage stuff.
Right.
You know, I raised other boys before, so I knew what was happening.
How many other kids do you have?
I have 2 other kids.
Okay.
They're much older though.
Okay.
They're 10. My youngest daughter is 10 years from Jakim.
Okay.
So I waited a long time before I had him.
Right.
So he was going through this. My father said I don't have to listen to him. My father this. My father said I could come live with him. My father.
Mm.
So I'm like, all right, Jakim, but I don't think you really want to go there. But all right, you know. And so when he would act up in school, I would make him read. You know, that was my punishment. I didn't want to put my hands and feet on him. You know, it was, you want to be a wise guy,
right?
Let's actually be wise. So I would make him read about black people, like, you know, who you are, where you came from. Like,
but he's Puerto Rican, no?
He's black and Puerto Rican.
Okay.
But
and you speak about him as if he's still alive.
I do. He is. To me.
Right.
I think.
I'm not saying I to slight you. I'm just trying. I'm just like, this is interesting to me.
Yeah. I think he's I think he's just transitioned. Like, he's still alive in me.
Understood.
You know? And he's still, I'm telling you, from the time that this boy passed, he's always stayed in contact with me. And I'm not crazy. Like, people that are close to me know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, when that happened to him, well, I'm going back. So, Jakim was going through a little stage. And one summer he came to me and he's like, oh, I want to go stay with my father. And Jakim had never been, like, aggressive like that. Like, but I know that it was the back and forth. Because he would go over there for the weekend and then come back and I had to, like, retrain him. And then he would go back and the same thing. And so one summer, it was, he was too young to go into summer youth.
Okay. Summer youth here means what?
You have
program, whatever.
Summer youth is employment.
Okay.
For the summertime while you're out of school.
Okay.
I didn't want him just sit in the house all day, you know. And so I said, okay. He asked me, can he go to his father's? And so I said, okay, call your father and tell him he can pick you up. His stepdad was like, you know, I don't know if you should let him do that, but I'm not his dad.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to get in between. I don't want him to think that I'm the one who kept him from his dad, but Lissette, you really need to think about that. And I said, I don't think Jakim will like it, but I gotta let him see for himself what it is.
Yeah.
And so I let him go. My son never made it back.
Yeah.
You know, and I live with that because I had someone tell me that that's not a good idea.
Right.
So I struggle with that.
No doubt.
You know, my son was murdered out there, And 15 years old. Yeah. But he stays in contact with me. Like, there's stuff that in my dreams nobody else would know. You know, I remember having a dream, right? Jakim came to me and he said he didn't talk, but it was almost like we were talking. I don't know, it's weird. His mouth didn't move, but we were talking.
Understood, I get it.
And he shows me a hunter green door. It's almost like a double door. And there were two boys. And he was saying they know what happened to me, right? But I didn't know them. I didn't know anybody from New Jersey. I didn't know nobody. All I know is that my son, his father, is out there in New Jersey. That's it. So at his funeral, he had a lot of people that I didn't know or whatever that came to, you know, he made some friends out there, whatever. And there was a woman that came to me, and she said your son was a good friend of my son or whatever. They, you know, she lives a person. To this day, this lady is still in contact with me, and I didn't know her from anywhere. She said, I loved your son, you know. And at that point, you're kind of numb. You don't really know. Right. You know, I don't know who you are. You know, especially when you grew up in the hood, everybody's suspect.
Yes.
You know?
It's true. Yeah.
So I remember she called me one day, and I asked her, I said, whose house has a hunter green door? Because Jakim told me that there's two boys and know what happened to them. She called me FaceTime. Her face was stuck.
Yeah.
I've never been out there. There's no way that I could know that that door exists.
Right.
And she told me whose house it was. I don't want to say because I don't know how
Understood, understood.
You know? And I said, they know what happened to my son. You know? But besides that, every year something else happens in here. The first year, I can show you pictures. The first, before I even got to the funeral home, I love butterflies, as you can see. There's butterflies everywhere, right? Me and his stepdad was standing outside, and I just didn't want to be in the house. It's something that I would hate for anybody to experience. I don't have enemies, so I wouldn't say, oh, my worst enemy, because I don't have enemies. Right. We were standing outside, talking right outside, and I look at him and I go, don't move. And he's like, what? I'm like, don't move. Pass me your phone. And when he passes me his phone, there's a butterfly. I swear it was like this big. I have pictures of it. I'm going to show you.
Okay.
It was sitting on the top of his hat. Just sitting there.
Wow.
Like it didn't move for a long time.
Right.
And so I took pictures of it and everything. And then I came upstairs and I said, that has to mean something. I looked it up and it says someone who has passed on is saying that they love you.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
did you love butterflies prior to?
I always loved butterflies. I love butterflies because of the transition. You know?
But that's not by coincidence. We understand that, right?
Absolutely.
This is not. That's not by coinky dink. This is all.
Yes.
Just supposed to be because it is.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of times, and then I just I'm sitting here listening. It makes sense how you. I'm nobody's therapist. I'm just in set of ears. You know what I'm saying? But it like, I couldn't imagine to know what that feels like in any capacity. But I think just based on the person that you are, because we just met like an hour ago, maybe something like that. No bullshit. Like I just met this woman just now. You know what I'm saying? But
right.
but I think that this is your lifestyle, everything, and just I knew. I'm looking at the rug. There's butterflies on the rug. I'm like, there's something to that, and I knew that it was something. I didn't know he got murdered. I didn't know he was in the other room with you. I didn't know you and all this is like, and you wear it so well. You know what I'm saying? and if you really you wear it with like confidence, and I can tell you're hurt inside still, because we're all just human at the end of the day, and nobody's that bad. You know what I'm saying? They don't make it like that. But you know, my heart goes out to you. And I know I can't change anything, but
Thank you.
I just feel like I've been knowing you for a minute anyway. I don't know why, but it's just the energy. Maybe that's, and I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. Like it's that. Like,
It is.
Whatever that is, it's that thing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are connected like that.
Mm-hmm.
So when you talk about eating in a different way, I think that's why I asked you about spirituality, because I know it comes from a different place.
Mm-hmm.
It has to. And when he went through his transition, were you transitioning too already, or you on your way? 2013, you said you were doing the vegan thing.
Well, it started with my sister's passing.
And that was 2013.
2013.
So when you?
I had always been in healthy
Right.
field, especially because I was training people.
Right.
But when that happened, I needed to know what cancer was when it came to my sister. But when my son, I needed to be still. I needed my body to be quiet. I needed to gather myself, because at that point in my life, I felt like I had nothing left.
Yeah. Okay.
I had my kids very early.
Right.
I was 17 years old when I had my first son. That's all I knew was to be a mother.
Yeah.
And for somebody to take that from you, see, that day, that moment, that second, it's over. There's nothing else you can say.
Right.
And you just gotta eat it.
Yeah.
Right there.
Right.
You know, there's no, what do you call that? Like a prerequisite.
I get it.
It's right now, right there. It happened. There it is. Eat it. And I didn't know.
When
how.
you get that phone call, where's Lisette's mind go then? Like what happens then? Do you go cold, or do you just, not to relive it, but I believe we gotta. I'm of the belief that we just, because you're not the only one who's been through that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And to let people know, that's a big part of what I do, I believe, is to let people know, like, this is how she dealt with it, because people deal with that kind of shit the best way they can. And sometimes they can't go to work every day. Sometimes they just lay in the corner and just
I've had my
let
share of
time.
corners.
I'm sure. I'm sure. So how do you bounce yourself back from that? Do you get therapy for it? Do you
I didn't.
Okay.
Thank God there were women who have been through what I've been through.
Okay.
And they were there, man.
Yeah.
There's a woman, her name is Diane. I don't know her last name. I know her son was murdered a few years ago, and she just took me under her wing.
Yeah.
You know, she taught me how to pray.
Okay.
You know, I always had a connection with God, but I didn't know how to pray. You know, I don't know how to explain it, but I needed something that was bigger than me.
Right.
Because, you know, after the funeral, everybody goes back to their regular life.
But you are left
And
to
then
soak and trying to
reality,
figure it out.
yeah, you gotta figure this shit out.
Yeah.
You know, I had other kids that if I felt they were gonna fall too, you know, I don't know how I did it. I don't know. I knew that I had to gather myself, and from years of my life, I always knew that when things got crazy, I would fast. That was my way of inner healing, you know. I remember getting that call, and it's like a dream. It still feels like a dream. Like I can't say that I've fully accepted what happened. It's like you know it.
I'm not asking that just to try to get you to relive it.
Uh-huh.
I just would just like to know, just for my own sake, I guess. I know it's kind of dark, but like, there's a reason why. I just don't know what the reason is. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is, but I know that can help somebody. Fucking can help me. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just.
I said that too. You know, one thing that I never did was I never questioned God.
Yeah.
I never did that. Like when I got the phone call.
Yeah.
It's
because
funny.
The reason why is because that shit happens in the movies.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And believe it or not, I was embarrassed. I don't know. There has to be other mothers that understand what I'm saying.
Right.
I was embarrassed that my son was a statistic. I was angry about that. You know, I was, in the beginning you go through anger. You know, you go through guilt. You go through a lot of different stages of it.
Right.
And then at some point you have to accept, you know. But I got on my knees a lot because what else was I gonna do? You know, people don't want to keep hearing your pain.
Correct.
You know, and then when you go through it, you feel like nobody else understands unless you've been there.
Right.
You know, and so I found people they drew to me because they knew, you know, like my son wasn't a bad kid, man. You know, and so I couldn't understand what somebody would want from my son. You know, and from what I hear, I still don't know the full details. But from what I hear, it was a grown man that killed my son. You know, many people didn't know who he was because he wasn't from over there.
Right.
You know, the police treat you different because they like, what he doing over here then, you know?
Yeah.
So there was a lot of things coming at me at the same time. But yeah, I think that's when it was like, okay, you gotta quiet yourself, you gotta quiet your body. In order to get through this, you gotta look within you. Like find that inner strength that you have.
Okay.
People were looking at me at the funeral like I didn't even cry.
Because you were numb, or you just
you
just didn't know, it didn't seem real.
All of that.
Right.
Both. I looked at him.
You are a tough
like,
chick, so I promise to get it.
A lot of people say that, but I cry.
We all do.
I think me working in the medical field kind of helped a lot because there's so many times that I have to say, sorry for your loss. You know, so you kind of get this, you kind of desensitize a little, but when it's your child.
But I think you mean it though, right? I mean, you say I'm sorry for you lost the people you deal with, you work with.
Of course.
And I think that your energy speaks to that. They don't gotta know where you come from, but I believe that's. God damn, that was heavy. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
All from the dragonflies and butterflies. But just like you make posts and say stuff like you think you're slick or whatever the hell it was. I'm like, this. I don't think people are crazy.
I'll tell you why. Before the dragonfly, my son's Jakim has a brother, right? And from the funeral, you know, everybody got their own feelings, you know. And so everybody was running with dad, you know. And so they had things that I guess dad fed them. And I was okay with that because I know who I am. I'm not going to battle you on who I am and
Correct.
My position. It'll all reveal itself in due time. So, Jakim, this makes 4 years, right? So, his brother had said some things on social media or whatever. And I know that he was they're young, they were going through whatever their dad said about me, and it's fine. I'm not going to go back and forth with you. But in my heart, I raised these kids.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
So, the day before the dragonfly, I don't know how, I'm in the city, I travel the city all day long. I'm in the city, I get off at the wrong stop. So I'm like, oh shit, what am I doing on 59th Street? I go up the stairs and I'm like, now how do I get, because I was going somewhere, I can't remember where I was going, but I wound up coming, there was a woman, she was mentally ill, and she was teasing somebody, like she kept going up to them and she was saying stuff, and I said, I gotta watch what she's doing, because it was funny to me how people were reacting to her.
Right.
So I'm watching her, and then somebody taps me on the shoulder. And when I looked, it was Jakim's brother, the same guy who had said whatever he had said.
That's crazy.
But when I looked at him, I just hugged him. Jakim's father wound up dying 2 years after that happened to my son.
Oh, man.
And so I looked at him, and I just hugged him. And I said, it's okay. I understand. You know, I don't hold anything against you. And I said, this meeting, Jakim ordained this thing here.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no way that we would have ran into each other.
Yeah.
It's not a coincidence that
Yes.
the day before his anniversary, I run into you.
Correct.
Because in my heart, I always felt like I needed to speak to him, but it wasn't going to be forced. That wasn't forced.
Right.
That was just, oh shit.
Yeah. I get it.
You know? And so
That's amazing.
when that happened, I laughed and I said, this is not coincidence. And I walked away from him, but I felt like my son was saying,
They made good with that.
he wanted me to love his brother.
Right.
He didn't want animosity between us. I never had it in my heart for them. But they had whatever their thoughts were, and I don't care to know what your thoughts were. I'm still true to myself, you know? And I'm gonna still be whatever you call me, your stepmom, whatever. You can call me whatever you want.
Right.
But you know my role in your life.
No doubt.
So we're gonna leave it at that.
So now, tell me about the meal prep that you're working on.
So
Tell me about how this is gonna be. Like next time, you're gonna have a film crew, and I'm gonna be like off in the corner trying to get a car. Like I remember her, man. She built a platform in her apartment, and everything had the glass blocks, and she said you can come on in and get you a water or something. And now it's like she's too mega for me. She got these glasses and everything. You know what I'm saying? So tell me how that's gonna work out. Tell me where the next step is. What?
well, you know,
'Cause we
people
have to-
who know me
Uh-huh.
always be like, Lissette, you're a doctor, man. You just don't know it. You're a doctor, right? As a kid, I always wanted to be. I wanted to be a vet growing up. But I've always, loved.
Pause right there. Let me ask. Do you know about the dude in Harlem who had the lions and the tigers in his apartment? Okay. I'll tell you about him in a minute. Because I'm looking for him too. I gotta find dude. He was trying to build a zoo in New York City many moons ago, him and his mom. But he had an apartment in Harlem, and it was facing the old folks' home. Like his apartment was, but he had a real tiger in his apartment.
Oh, wow.
And the old folks would say, hey, there's a tiger in that apartment up there. No, Mr. Johnson. There's no goddamn tiger in that apartment right there. You just old senile and crazy and shit.
Wow.
Guess what? He brought on a stray kitten one day. He let the kitten come in, and there was a tiger and the kitten. I guess the tiger was getting ready to take care of the kitten or eat the kitten or whatever the hell was about to do that one day. He got between them. The tiger hits him. Gives him a big scratch.
Wow.
That's not a scratch that you get from fighting. That's something kind of out of the ordinary. You know what I mean? So he ended up coming clean and telling the doctors at the ER, I got a tiger in my apartment. So the real cops came, had to rappel down, and hit. And there was a picture of it. You can check it out. And he ended up sedating him. And then I was just thinking, like, imagine like the cat piss that will come through like the floors and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And what do you feed? Because tigers and lions and shit can't be vegans. You know what I'm saying? Those are meat eaters.
Right, those are meat eaters,
carnivores.
sure.
You know what I mean? So I had to take a shot in the dark, but you can Google that story. That's real. I'm looking for him too, because that's almost like, I'm sure you probably at one point in time had bears and every fucking thing in Harlem. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
But that really happened. You can check them out. But maybe actually you're like you've been around these parts for a minute, so I thought maybe you might have But now since I said, you might fuck around and hear something about it. Like, yeah, I want you to, I know somebody was looking for you.
Yeah.
Jon Agnew.
Well, if I find them, I'll let you know.
No doubt about it. So you said you're gonna be a vet and you're gonna be a doctor. I'm sorry, what did you say?
I was always interested in health.
Okay.
I think that's my calling. That's where I belong. That's where I'm driven to. You know, I even with the medical thing, like the medical interpreter.
Yeah.
I've
I never even met nobody that did that before.
I know
that's
not
so
many of us.
sweet, like for real.
Yeah.
That's all. That's so smooth. You know what I mean? That's a lot. I've never heard that shit before.
I love it.
Yeah.
I've still never get up and say, "Oh my God, I gotta go to work." I still, and it's been 20 plus years. I still enjoy what I do.
There you go.
And that's important. You have to love what you do.
No doubt.
Yeah. I mean, you get days where, like I said, you have end of life or something like that. But besides that, I love it.
That's amazing. I've met you for 20 minutes or an hour, but I feel like I've been knowing you for an eternity, and I love you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
This is sweet. This is good for me because I think this is therapeutic. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause this is like what I really like to do. Meet people and just talk and listen. More important. You know what I'm saying? Be a vessel. And that's why that's the coolest thing. So I can like hear. Like, I didn't know you were gonna tell me that. I didn't know there was gonna be a butterfly on a man's hat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I didn't know any of that, man. So how can people follow Lissette? Because now we gotta start. Now we gotta do the meal preps for people.
Yeah.
Now we gotta start doing more videos.
Yeah.
Cause you are like, I know you're like used to it, but we're in fucking Brooklyn and you like are a vegan, Puerto Rican vegan in Brooklyn. That's crazy, like that's nuts, for real. And you can really help that many more people.
Yeah.
And and the way the food deserts and shit is set up out here.
Yeah.
Because you're not alone.
Yeah.
I'm sure people want, people just need that first little bit of
I think
push.
I think, the biggest question that I get is people say, so what do you eat?
Yeah.
Because you don't eat meat, what do you eat? There's so many options, you just have to.
If it's me, I got to see. If it's me, if you're trying to sell me, right? You're trying to sell me right now. I need to see, not the preparation, but I need to see a video on what you got going on. I need to see, okay, how many different brands of fucking mushrooms can you make before you call them meatloaf type shit? You know what I mean?
Right.
Or what about Taco Tuesday? What do you do for a Taco Tuesday?
Oh, I have.
But then you got I'm sure you got a menu. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's sweet though.
But that's my goal. I want to help other people to change their lifestyle. You start to see how vibrant you become. You start to feel different, energy, mentally, spiritually.
Yeah.
It's a whole different transition, and your poop don't stink either.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing that's decayed inside of your system.
Killing with these flesh and carcasses and decay.
It's true though. I have to be brutally honest, and then when you understand what the effects that it has on the environment, like our Amazon is on fire.
Still.
Like we're losing.
Yeah.
Like
is it still on fire? I think
I hear they put it out.
But that's just what they say.
Yeah. And when you understand who's in control of the news, and who controls all of that stuff, you get what they want you to see.
Yes, ma'am.
But the effects on the climate.
Do you smoke and drink and do anything like that?
I used to.
So no, currently.
Yeah. Currently, no.
Because you don't, because it's just not part of the.
No, I'm not one of those I don't kill a roach, I will kill a damn roach. Come up in here, it's going down.
Yeah.
But some people they get a little extreme with it. I'm not an extremist. I just want to live the healthiest lifestyle that I can.
That's all.
But when you understand and you learn, so when it comes to like deodorants, when it comes to what I put on my skin, what I wash my hair with,
you can make a lot of money though. Like the Puerto Rican vegan can make a lot of money. You can do a lot with that. Like don't know what kind of deodorant. What's the active ingredient in deodorant that's bad? It's the
aluminum. It's the first ingredient.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of women don't understand. Oh, I never smoke. I got breast cancer, because you're putting, you know, your body is full of lymphs, right? And lymphs, and what they do is they carry the garbage out of your system. So they through your sweat or, you know, through your pores. And when those things are clogged up, it goes back into the bloodstream. Okay. You know, and so if you're constantly putting aluminum under your arms, this is your limbs are here, you're clogging it. So your body may not even sweat. The only way to get your limbs to start moving is to actively sweat. You know, or your body is heated up, and it causes your lymph nodes to move the waste. Right. But if you're constantly doing this every day, year after year after year after year, and then the medical field tells you every year, go get a mammogram, right? Every year you are exposing me. Now, if you ever walked in a place where they have MRIs, CAT scans, any of that, the caution signs are everywhere, right? Why do they protect themselves but put you on full extreme on your breast? But they stand back in another room and watch through a glass and make sure you didn't fry. You understand? So there's a contradiction. When you understand that in the medical field, it's just business. There's nothing that can actually heal you. It's going to cover the symptoms. You know, then you see it different. You know, for me, I'm kind of, I can't talk about what I know while I'm working. But if you catch me outside of here, I can school you on a few things. You know? But so
that's the problem I have, because my son, like I say, he has sickle cell, and I try to be the biggest advocate I can for that. And I know the stuff that they give him isn't the best stuff. You know what I mean? And it's like a double-edged sword, it feels like, because nobody wants to see their child or loved one in any kind of pain. You know, and these eyes have seen a lot as far as him. You know what I mean? So it's like, God damn. And I know some of the shit, you know, that they do, and like the MRIs and the X-rays and then the multiple, you know what I mean? And I guess I don't know if they're necessary evils or fuck, you just don't know what you don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's true. And that's why I want to do that's why I'm starting this with the meals and stuff, because a lot of people, they just don't know. You know, or don't know where to begin. You know, or they don't know, they've never not eaten meat. Most people have meat for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, you know, so they don't know how not to have it. Right. What do I eat then? Is it, when I first started posting on social media, I used to put not just salad, because I remember people saying, oh, so what you're going to eat, just salad all day? I'm like, no. You know, you don't realize, especially Puerto Ricans, we've been eating without meat for a long time. Like, we eat like vianda, like yuca, plantain, beans, you know, avocados, olives. We've been eating all of that stuff along with rice. I eat rice, you know, but you don't realize that you've been eating healthy all along. You're just adding the wrong things. But if you can substitute that, then you're fine.
Understood.
You know?
Understood.
So yeah, I just want to teach people. I'm thinking about meal prepping for people and kind of selling the place, like,
you're gonna be having this motherfucker jumping like the car. Old school with good stuff though. You know what I mean? My first thought was, I'm just gonna make a couple of options and do it for free. Taste it, see if you like it, and if you like it, then we can move forward. No doubt. I think it'll work out for you. I don't see why you shouldn't. I think you should go full sales ahead. Because I can see how passionate you are about what you do. You know what I'm saying? And I think you know a whole lot more than most, just based on the information. You know what I'm saying? And, and stuff like that. So hats off to you. How can people follow you?
I'm on social media. My page is private right now.
Okay.
Just because after what happened with my son, but
Okay.
I'll open it up. I'm on Instagram at Liz Lizzayas.
Okay.
I'm also on Facebook.
Okay.
I don't use Facebook too much just because I don't know how to work it. Like
Understood.
But my page is.
You're gonna be popping though, man. You're gonna be popping with the vegan life, the Puerto Rican vegan lifestyle out here. I like it.
I would hope that it touches a lot of people.
Why would it though?
Yeah.
It's just because it comes from the heart. The intent is good.
It is.
You know what I'm
It
saying?
truly is.
And I really believe that.
Yeah.
So.
If we got more people to change their lifestyle, would be less sick people. Would be less of everything, anger, all of those things that come with that. You know, the taking it of blood and flesh and bones.
Just eating decayed meat and mystery meat and carcasses and what you tell me.
It's dead, man.
You're killing me.
It's dead, man.
Sign language. The sign language is awesome too. I wanted my at least I wanted one of my kids to learn that. At least, you know what I mean?
It's amazing.
I thought that was pretty cool. Like, because that's nothing but aiding people, helping people. You know what I'm saying? Like, and to me, that's what it's about. It's all about helping people and just giving the voiceless a voice,
right?
In whatever capacity it is. You know
right.
what I'm saying? And I really believe that in my heart of hearts. So, man, I wish them with the best of luck, baby.
Thank you. Thank you.
Jon Agnew, Bikedope. You can catch this on. You can catch me on Instagram, Bikedope Official, on Facebook, all over, man. You can get the shirt, the hat, Bikedope down there. Either way, it's still going down, man. YouTube, Liz is a beast, man. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you coming
God
out
bless
to
you,
listen.
man.
Yeah.
I told you guys. I told you. Lissette is the truth, man. Man, just in that apartment with her, there was so much good energy and good juju floating around, man. I appreciate the opportunity. And I don't know where this quest is taking me, but I met some amazing people, man. And she's just one of many, you know what I mean? But it's like the Bikedope Brigade is getting stronger and I can feel it. I promise I can feel it, man. But anyway, Lissette, if you guys don't know, man, click the link in the bio to follow her, learn from her, you know, pick up sea moss from her, whatever she's got going on, you want to be involved. Promise to goodness. So, again, Brooklyn, stand up, man. Jon Agnew on location. Doing my thing like I do best. I love you all. Easy. Follow me, like, subscribe, share, all that. But listen, each one teach one, reach one. I love you all, man. Easy.